Hello learners, by this time you have almost learned about several aspects of functional English. In today's module we are talking about soft skills and language, okay, and this module will help you to understand some important aspects of soft skills with particular focus on communication and conversational skills. The objectives of this module would be to allow you to understand or to provide you with an understanding of what exactly constitutes soft skills, and also to look at how you can integrate efficient application of soft skill and personality together, so that your the final objective of enabling yourself as a very productive and a very positive asset as a human resource, it becomes easier. And then also through this module we would also wish the learners to understand and comprehend the significance of language as a component of soft skill, how language becomes a very, very important integral component to the acquisition of soft skill. Let us now move on. So what are soft skills? Let us try to understand what constitutes soft skills. Why are these soft skills important? And also, how can soft skill be, very, very integral in developing a good personality? If you try to, examine yourself, you will realize that you do not live in the society all alone. Okay, we are all the time interacting with one another. We are interdependent. We take support of some people. We also have to lend support, and this is a part of our social interaction. Before getting into a definition of what constitutes soft skill, let me give you examples, and these examples are real life examples. All of us have gone through the COVID pandemic experience, and how suddenly our day-to-day activities, everything including the classroom, had become a digital virtual one, and WhatsApp became the mode of communication between the teacher and the students. So one fine day I had a student of mine who had we had this WhatsApp group. So this student of mine texted me a message, "Ma'am, are you going to take our class or not?" So early in the morning, you can imagine when you get such a message, I just was taken aback. But because you will agree perhaps that when you talk to that is why soft skill is so important. This student, I'll tell you later, this student, I did not reply whether I would take or not. Rather, I asked the student, your message makes me feel that threatened, because you have asked, "Ma'am, will you take our class or not?" And there's another incident is about a shopkeeper, and we have a shopkeeper in our neighborhood, say Mr. A, and whenever you go to his shop, his shop is selling some stationery. So whenever you get into the shop, you find Mr. A sitting quite glumly, quite morose, very gloomy demeanor, to the extent that you actually don't feel like you might wonder, why did I come into this shop? And if you try to talk to him, if you get into, apart from how much is the price or what is this, Mr. A would seldom show any interactive gestures. He would seldom display that he is actually welcoming you as a as a customer. Now in these different instances, you will see in the first case, the student who asks the teacher, "Ma'am, will you take our class or not?" maybe did not intend to threaten me, maybe did not intend to be rude, but the manner in which he had posted the message, it implied that he did not know how to put a question politely. In this shopkeeper, Mr. A, he might be a very good person. His intention may be always very, very good. But the manner in which he conducts himself, the manner in which he presents himself, the shopkeeper will always have to, entertain customers. So when he meets his customers, his demeanor, his behavior, his presentation of himself, his conduct of his everyday activity of meeting his customers did not reflect at all his willingness to actually sell something, So there, Mr. A clearly displayed an absence of soft skills. Soft skills play a very, very seminal role. It plays a very, very important role in making our social interaction smooth. It is very important aspect of our life because it can elevate whatever you have as part of your, you have earned as part of your hard skills, your academic qualification, everything that you know, your professional qualifications, all of these will be enhanced much more, will be taken to a very, very higher level when you also acquire good soft skills, stable, quality soft skills, because your social part of your life will always need that. And what will these skills include, or what will be, what will constitute these skills? For example, behavior, grace, friendliness, optimism, language skill, etc. So, if you go to define soft skill, how would you define? For example, a general definition might be like this: soft skills are a special set of skills possessed by an individual that enhances the positive impact of a task accomplished by the individual. For example, when you are approaching a particular person, if the person looks at you with a frown, you may not even want to discuss the problem or discuss any issue, or you do not want to interact. Now, what constitutes that positivity? It doesn't come just like that. These cannot be taught actually. Why soft skill is important? It is because these things cannot be taught like you teach certain programs, like you teach certain courses. Okay? Your behavior, your friendliness, your optimism, your way of meeting people, how do you make other people feel in your presence, how do you try to make the other person feel comfortable in your presence, how do you try to reach out to people? These things do not feature in any textbook per se. There is no exam that will test you like how friendly you are. You conduct yourself. That is a part of your personality. Okay? And that is why soft skill, it is said that these are all sets of skills. It is important that whenever you are in interaction with people, whenever you are making social presence, whenever you are in the presence of people around you, they might be your friends, they might be somebody junior to you, they might be somebody senior to you, they might be your professional colleagues, they might be your friends and family. It is important that you look after yourself, take care of presenting yourself. You need to feel that actually you are happy, that actually you welcome that situation. Actually, if it is a crisis situation, there also you have a certain very, very stable demeanor which would make the other people also feel comfortable. And it is important because it will make you a more desirable person. So soft skills are certain traits, as we have seen. These will help you to become a productive individual, and that is why soft skills are very, very important. Okay, so we will now get into understanding how soft skill is important in getting a good personality. For personality development, what role does soft skill play? Now, how does one understand what is a personality? Personality is a set of characteristic traits in a person which makes him or her distinctively different from another person. So when you talk about personality, you must have often come across statements like, that person is such a, lovable person. People love his personality. Or you might have also, looked at people in awe. You admire people, even if that person may not have provided you with any benefit or something like that. You are just fascinated by the charisma, by the dynamism of individuals. What makes that individual, become so charismatic? And why not other person? Do you think you will be able to become that kind of a person by just merely imitating that person? Probably not, because personality is something that is reflected on the outer side, yet the components, the traits, the elements, the aspects that get into building that personality is inside a person. This thought that I have work, that I am blessed, that I have a class to take, that my students are waiting for me, this will make me energized. Contrary to the person who would wake up thinking, oh my God, another day. They would be, to begin the day, you lack energy. If you begin to think of yourself as someone who is doing something useful, even if you are doing it routine, it's routine work. Everything is routine. Yet, your personal touch to that work would make that routine appear so different. So, personality is something that gives you, the X factor. You might understand it that way. So it is very important that as social beings, you look into others, mental state. It should not be that any activity of yours, any action of yours creates disturbance in the other person. So in all of these build up your personality. These are a part of your personality. And in all of this, soft skills play a very, very important role. So in all of that, how you present yourself, how you receive that, how you negate that, all of these depend on your interaction. These interactions, if it is smooth, it helps in resolving crisis, it helps in building up the sense of confidence, it helps in creating a sense of reassurance, it also helps to grow a feeling of reliability, so that people will feel that, okay, I can get to that person, even if he or she cannot do anything, at least he or she will give a lend a ear to me, my problem, try to give me some kind of solution to that. Okay, so confidence, ability for interaction, resolution of crisis, creating a sense of reassurance, and all of these leading to a feeling of reliability are all very, very good traits which reflect that an individual has a very, very positive personality. So then we can say that soft skills are behavioral skills. Now, what are behavioral skills then? As the term says, behavior, it gets the terminology from the term behavior. So what would constitute behavioral skills? If you have to build a good personality, you need to have a good set of behavioral skills then. One of the important behavior skills would be self-awareness. What is self-awareness? To be well informed. If you do not know things, if you do not know, see, for instance, as I had told you, if I am a teacher and I am expected to make a PowerPoint and I don't know, immediately, if I do not have a optimistic personality, I'll say that this is a big problem. How can I do this? Look at this now. They are asking me to make a PowerPoint. Is it possible? Instead, if I say that, okay, I don't know, let me find out. I'll need your help. Will you help me to do that? And then you start working on it. You learn. And that learning makes you enabled. It gives you power. It empowers you. So behavior is, it makes or mars your interaction. If you are self-aware, you know your limitations. You will not boast. You will not argue when I don't know certain things and I go on arguing, that is a very, very negative trait. If you say something which is not based on factuality, that is a very, very negative trait. Okay? So self-awareness is very important behavioral skill which goes on to contribute towards building a good personality. The other point would be determination and persistence. What is determination? If you are determined, like I said, if somebody comes and tells me, make a PowerPoint, and imagine that I don't know, but I am determined to do something. If I am determined not to do, that would be a negative thing. Now, why should I imbibe something that is negative? Rather, why should I not go on towards making myself a positive, an asset, or a person who would be considered sort of helpful? So determination would no doubt increase responsibility. Persistence would also increase responsibility, accountability, because you try, strive, thrive to do certain things that would enhance your whole idea of being an asset, the whole idea of being a positive, productive component of the situation in which you are put. So you might be a very, very productive component as a student. You might be a productive component as an employee. You might be a productive component as an entrepreneur. So you're learning, you're determined to learn, rectify, correct, and you're persistent. If you are not, you're able in one go, you keep learning. So what happens as a result of that? At the end of that, you are able to nurture reassurance and reliability. Because people will understand that you are a person to whom they can go, even if you do not have any access to, solve a certain crisis, yet you are the best person who will be able to show the way for the resolution of crisis. You are reliable. People can rely on you. This is a very, very productive, positive asset in somebody's personality. And then flexibility, which is very important as we are social beings. Flexibility would be having a rational approach to crisis, or having a rational approach to your interactions. You understand that, okay, till now I had been thinking that this is what it is, but my friend A showed me that no, this is not like it, but this is how it is. So I understand, oh, I made a mistake, or I was unaware. Thank you for showing me the way. And that is how you negotiate, you accommodate, you also learn and you grow. And because you are flexible, people will come forward to negotiate with you, to make collaborations and social life interaction. And forget social life, even in your personal life, if you are not flexible, you will have very, very difficult times, building relationships, collaborating with people. Collaborations, negotiations, accommodating, listening to people. These are all very, very important behavioral skills which contribute towards the positive development of a personality. There is another part to, or another side to understanding soft skill also. It can be understood as social or people skills. Now, what are social or people skills? There can be, different components to it. For instance, communication skill, management skill, interpersonal skill, leadership skill, teamwork, among others. Now, if you pay attention to all the 5 different components of social or people skill that I just highlighted, you will realize that in all of these, what is important is communication. You need language. Communication skill, as the name suggests, of course, you communicate. Management skill. How do you manage? You are working in a particular setup where you, as an independent professional, will have to look after a team maybe. That will again connect to teamwork, leadership, interpersonal. Or you are heading an office and you have to look after different components of the office. Interpersonal skills are also essential because it will enhance your management skill. And management skill is connected to leadership skill. Why should I listen to a manager who is unable to manage? So how do I know that my manager is very capable manager? Because that manager knows how to lead. And then there is teamwork. The manager cannot do anything just by imagining that, okay, I am the manager, I am the boss. No. Every managerial position would have to have good teamwork. Management skill does not only confine to being a manager. Management is also about yourself. How do you manage? Interpersonal skills are communication skills. How you have established relationship between a co-worker, amongst the team members, and how do you proceed thereof. Okay, so in all of this, these are people skills. All of these skills are very important because it is a set, and this set helps you move forward with the aim to get good results, and not only aim but also actually reap good results. In all of this, very, very importantly, one thing that comes up is conversational skill. Conversation, which is so important. Conversation is what? You talk amongst your friends, amongst your colleagues, one-to-one. You have two people talking, different kinds of conversation. You can have a conversation between two people. It might be a conversation amongst a group. How do you know that you have a good conversation skill? Or what would you really have to do if you want to develop good conversation skill? The first and foremost thing that you need to think about or you need to keep in mind is to have courteous speaking skill. How much time will you have to prove to people that you are actually you are actually a very, very polite person. Your intention was not at all to be discourteous, but somehow suddenly it happened. It doesn't happen that way. These are all sustained efforts that a person need to acquire and practice. Courtesy is very important. Okay. Another thing which is important in conversational skill is listening ability. One has to listen. If you do not listen, you are not a good conversationalist. It is not that you only keep on saying, and when the other person's turn is to speak, you do not listen. And you keep interrupting. And you say things which are out of the context. This is not to be done. When you have a conversation, be it in a group or one-to-one, it is important that you listen. In a group, all the people starting to speak together would mean chaos, and it will result in nothing. Thirdly, eye contact. It would be extremely impolite to not to look at the person to whom you are trying to say something. When you're trying to speak, when you're trying to strike a conversation, it is very important that you have eye contact. If you do not look at the person, the implication that goes is this, that either you are not confident of what you're saying, or you are saying something which is not true, which is why you want to escape the eye contact. So in order to have a positive conversation, or a good conversationalist would always keep some of these things in mind and use it accordingly so that you know how to strike a good conversation. Now let us come to what role language has to play as a part of soft skills. We had by now understood communication is very important in soft skill. We have also seen how different components of communication are there, how there are different parts of our skill-based life that we are leading now. You have different roles to play. In all of that, soft skill is very important. And because soft skills are based on communication, language plays a very important role here. How? It is by virtue of language that your hard skills are, or your professional skills are complemented, where you find people bonding together in great many numbers towards a particular professional. You will have to understand that it implies that that person has good communication skills. Language, which constitutes one crucial component of communication skill, has to be very, very finely evolved in that person. Okay? There is no question of any understanding through your language. You do not, try to build up understanding. You will end up making the environment very, very incongenial. And that would imply that your language skill is very poor. And imagine a person with poor language skill working in a professional environment. Workplace will become absolutely difficult, not only for that person concerned, but also for the colleagues. So when we talk of language, how do we understand it? You have non-verbal communication, where you talk about body language, gestures, facial expressions. Okay? Verbal communication, as we all know, would be, writing communication and your oral communication, as we had just seen. But there is a non-verbal part to use of language also, and also using, your communication. So what happens? Eye contact, as we had seen, facial expressions, gestures, frowning, or your posture. How do you stand? How do you sit? How do you receive a person? Your voice, the modulation of your voice, use of the words. If it is a very monotonous, dull kind of a voice, and you say, "Oh, I welcome you," that wouldn't reflect that you have really welcomed that person. See? So it is important that you need to understand what you really want when there is somebody approaching you for a dialogue, for certain kind of help, or wants you to be a part of something. You are in a workplace environment, you are in a family gathering, you are in a party, you are walking by the road, you are, anywhere. Remember that you are a social being. This fact of our existence, that we are all a part of the society, has to be remembered all the time. So it is important to understand that soft skills are an important component of your personality. Soft skills are also certain, traits, skills in which language plays a very, very important role. Okay? So as we reach the close of this module, we have understood, I believe, how communication, which is an important component of soft skill, is very, very essential to enhance your personality, which will also allow you to gain greater, greater elevation in your professional life. Not only that, it will make you a good, asset, a very, very lovable person to whom people would like to come to. Okay? It becomes, after persistent practice, it becomes a part of your, being. So then, you do not have to learn it like you learn for your exams. You do not have to practice like you practice maths. Okay? So soft skills constitute a very, very important component of your personality. It is, it is a complementary. Your personality would be enhanced if you have good soft skills, and good soft skills would also go on to build your personality. And this will help you in the numerous activities that you conduct in life, the different kind of performances that you need to put up in everyday life. In all of this, however, please remember that language is the backbone. It is very, very important because it provides you, with a better opportunity for interaction, for conversation, for communication, in the absence of which, even if you have the requisite academic qualification, professional qualifications, and other skills which go on to, develop your professional skills. Without good soft skills, you will be always one step behind the person who possesses all of this. Okay, so do remember that while you are moving ahead with the acquisition of your hard skills in the job market, in your social life, in your professional life, everywhere, whatever you do, it is important that you have a good command over your soft skills. You keep practicing, be persistent, try to evolve as a human being, and by that you would end up being a very, very productive asset of the society. People would consider you, and you too will also feel very, very good about yourself. So we have come to the end of this module. I hope you would have, gained a lot of understanding regarding soft skills. And in the next module, we would get into different aspects of public speaking and interview skills. Thank you for being with us.